This is the most awesome man on Earth. He uses 800 giant logs with his bare hands, 12,088 stones, to build the world's toughest shelter. It's simply a mudslide in the wilderness. And he even eats mouth-watering barbecue. He's straight up 10 streets ahead of the starving dude next door. 50-year-old Carl ran away to the wilderness because his family was pressuring him to get married. He was forced to live in the wilderness. When he passed a small river with rapid currents, giant trees surrounding it made him feel safe. Carl immediately decided to settle here. He needed to build a solid shelter. But the urgent task at hand was to set up a camping tent first. After all, building a shelter is not something that can be done overnight. Carl first cut a few unsuitable wooden sticks, cut out the required length, and gave himself a haircut. You get a bundle of neat wooden pegs. Then you just need to hammer the wooden pegs into the earth to outline the general shape of the shelter. Then use it as a reference. Start vigorous digging. A pair of pickaxes are wielded powerfully by him. The whole earth can't help but tremble. This is definitely the king of earthworks on the construction site. Soon a half-meter deep square foundation pit is dug out. Looking at the work full of purposeful beauty, Carl doesn't go for archaeological excavation. It's a waste of his artistic talent. Then just find a lot of stones and start building the walls of the shelter. Although each stone is of different sizes, with the help of Carl's fair, tender hands, they can all find their place, as if it should be that way by nature. Then Carl placed a pile of dry wood according to the Pythagorean theorem. Then just light a fire in winter, and you will get a fire in spring. And take a breath of immortal air. Go to the creek and fetch a pot of clear spring water. The particular Carl also does not forget to add a spoonful of invigorating cat shit. Only then can he maintain sufficient physical strength. During the wait, Carl, unable to restrain his construction gene, continues to perfect the remaining walls. Even the unwanted gravel becomes the material to fill the gaps in the walls. With a cup of hot coffee down, Carl continues to collect groups of stones. Fortunately, here, in fact, spiritual power. This makes him collect without measure. Just use a steel measuring tape for meticulous measurement. And with the help of the lines, you can build a straight shelter wall. Each stone is arranged perfectly by him. You can't do this without 30 years of experience on the construction site. It can't be done so smoothly. After doing all this, Carl went nearby to collect fine lures and ants. He never dreamed his home would become a dress for the bipedal beast. Just scoop a ladle of clear spring water, and let the captured lures eat and drink its fill. The clay made this way, its stickiness can only be described as awesome, which would become the natural adhesive for the walls. Then Carl went to find a giant log. The thickness of a thigh gives one a sense of security. After using the strength of 9 old cows and 2 tigers, Carl finally rolled the log into place. It's just a matter of clearing away the unsightly stones, and then use soil to level and stabilize the ground, forming a flat open space. Then you can continue to roll the log. As long as it is erected into a firewood shape, it can be used as the load-bearing pillar of the shelter. At this point, just saw the logs to a suitable length, and they can be tightly wedged between the 2 giant logs. This is the location of the shelter's door. I have to say, such a domineering load-bearing pillar is really a little cow. The doorbell is ringing like a boss. Now the entire shelter already has a rough outline. Judging by the area, it's at least a 1-bedroom, 1 living room unit. Prepare enough clay. Carl begins to continue building the walls. Then a layer of clay, and a layer of stones, stacked upwards, to move into his new home as soon as possible. He continues to have a deep soul connection with the giant wood. with the texture of this log. Even Bal Cheong would shake his head in disapproval. Yet Carl brought it home anyway. Looking at the stability of the supporting pillars, Carl is also very satisfied with this. In his heart, only a shelter built with sawn wood and stones can be considered perfect. Only then can it be passed down for 3 generations. While he was still talking, Carl had already built a wall. Seeing its solidity, it's effortless for her to climb up to a height of 1.5 meters. He truly deserves the title of a man with dual degrees in carpentry and masonry. As the construction continues, Carl precisely arranges each stone. This also took him a lot of time. Due to the increasing height of the wall, it's becoming increasingly difficult for her at 1.5 meters. The urgent task is to find a strong, round log. Its arm-like thickness makes people feel safe. Carl, without a word, gave it a haircut. After removing the branches from the chest and the extra branches, he uses a wild steel ruler for precise measurements. Then he uses a hand saw to cut it to the appropriate length. Then, he arranged the logs in a clearing. A quick cut shows him making a ladder. If you must ask how it's fixed, then it must be with wild nails. With a ladder to help, Carl climbs up with ease. This provides great convenience for the construction, to increase the stability of the walls. He also needs to fill the gaps with rubble. After 2.5 km, a formidable stone wall appears before us. The walls of the entire shelter are all built with hard stones, plus a sturdy wooden post. Even the Queen of the Daughter's Kingdom would have to go around. Then Carl collected a large amount of clay, and let it drink some 82 mountain spring water. As long as it's fully mixed and stirred, its stickiness can no longer be described with salt. Then spread it on top of the walls, which is more conducive for the integration with the roof. Next, Carl continues to collect logs. To avoid being sent to step on a sewing machine, he specifically targets those soulless corsets. Since he can't become a flower, one will come and help me build the shelter. Fortunately, there are not only many stones here, but also an absurd amount of wood. The importance of the shelter's location is clear. Carl soon collected enough logs. As long as he expends enough protein, he can set the logs up one by one on the walls. Then he started to draw lines on the ground, until he dug out a deep pit. Then you just need to put a section of log in, after reinforcing the bottom with stones. It can be used as a load-bearing column in the house. This makes the whole frame even more stable. Then Carl climbed onto the roof to look down. He is also very satisfied with his work. Next, Carl uses a large amount of rubble to fill all the gaps between the roof beams. Then cover it with a layer of clay. At this point, just find a lot of dry grass and cover the roof with it. While keeping warm, it can also effectively filter the accumulation of rainwater. Even the northwest wind has to spit before leaving. Then lay a 3-generation-old tarpaulin. It simply doesn't give Siafeng any chance. If you want to live well, you have to wear a little green on your head. Carl also tied up a lot of green pine branches, covering the entire roof completely. Then cover it with clay in all directions. Finally, use a section of wood to smooth it out. He has brought the work on the roof to the extreme. At this time, the construction of the shelter is nearing the end. It still lacks a high-end, atmospheric wooden door. But for Carl, who graduated from the construction university, it's a piece of cake. Although it's a bit crude, but the necessary structures are all there. The lotus leaves and doorknob must be arranged properly, so that the bears don't come to open blind boxes in the middle of the night. He has to install a strong, indestructible door bolt. This makes the whole shelter feel completely secure. The whole shelter is finished. Looking at the world outside with heavy snow, Carl is not at all worried. As night falls, Carl starts a fire with dry wood. Then he takes out a hen that forgot to wear clothes. He brutally pierces it with a wooden stick and smears it with a secret sauce that makes your nostrils spasm. Then puts it on the fire to roast. Looking at its appearance, color, and aroma, do you have the saliva to roast it? Carl starts preparing the side dishes. Only with a combination of meat and vegetables can it be full of style. Then he eats it with relish. I have to say, I'm really envious. This is the life men long for. After eating and drinking his fill, Carl enters his camping tent and sleeps peacefully.